Welcome, everyone. Ready to go full-on word nerd today. We're diving deep, deep into the world of the Third Reich. But, and here's the twist, we're doing it through the lens of language.
The how and the why of how they used it, twisted it, really. It's chilling stuff.
Chilling is right, which is why we're unpacking Victor Klemperer's book, LTI, Lingua Tertii Imperii. It's his first-hand account, and it gets into the nitty-gritty of how the Nazis used language, plain and simple, to manipulate a nation.
Klemperer was a Jewish philologist living through it all. Imagine that, documenting these subtle shifts. And they were subtle. It wasn't just, oh, they changed this word. It's how people started acting differently because of it.
Right, like this one struck me, how they completely warped the word heroism.
Yeah.
Usually you think selflessness, bravery, the greater good.
Exactly. But the Nazis, they shrunk it down, made it all about military aggression. Bam, suddenly your heroes are stormtroopers, soldiers, symbols of raw power. You're bombarded with that day in and day out pretty soon.
Violence and heroism are one and the same.
Sadly, yeah. And it gets even wilder. The image of their hero actually changed over time.
Oh, how so?
So Klemperer, early on, he talks about how at first they were all about the street brawlers, the SA, making them out to be these big heroes. But then it shifts. You get figures like Bernd Rosemeyer.
The race car driver?
The very same. Celebrated, turned into this icon. Even Speed, which is what the ultimate modern marvel, they sucked it into the propaganda machine. They even compared this guy Rosemeyer to Horst Wessel, like he's some legendary figure out of myth.
Wow. So they're tapping into something that's already there, these heroic ideals, but twisting them. It's scary how effective that can be. And speaking of scary, how about the word fanatical? Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Talk about a complete 180. It used to be, what, an insult, right? Someone irrational, obsessed, maybe even dangerous.
Exactly.
But with them, badge of honor, blind faith, something we'd normally question, suddenly it's glorified.
And that's where it gets really insidious. It's not just about, let's swap out the dictionary definition.
No, it's way deeper than that. This is about control, man, controlling emotions. Think how many times, even today, you see groups twisting words to get that knee-jerk reaction out of people.
It's happening constantly, you're right.
It's eerie how much it echoes what Klemperer was seeing. And that emotional manipulation, that's what makes it stick, makes it effective.
And what's really unsettling is that even when faced with defeat, this language, this whole warped sense of heroism and fanaticism, it didn't go away.
Nope.
Like it was just too deeply ingrained,
Like a stain, you can't just wash it out.
It's crazy though, right?
Right.
It's not always these big loaded words. Klemperer talks about how they messed with words we think are totally neutral.
Oh yeah, like what?
He brings up system versus organization. The Nazis were all about organization, especially for themselves.
Right, the organization, like it's this big, powerful thing.
Exactly. But the Weimar Republic, that was a system to them. And I'm thinking, those words, they're basically the same thing, aren't they? What's the big deal?
But there's a nuance there. System, it implies reason, structure. Like the Weimar Republic, sure, it had its problems, but it was trying to build a democracy, some kind of order.
Right, system kind of suggests fairness,
Yeah.
even if it's a little boring, bureaucratic.
Yeah.
Not exactly striking stinger into the hearts of your enemies, though.
And the Nazis, they wanted to be seen as a force of nature. Unstoppable. Organization, it's got that active, almost militaristic feel.
Control, like a machine, every part working perfectly under their command.
Exactly. And this wasn't just some abstract idea either. Klemperer, he gives this great example about, get this, the German feline newsletter.
The what?
Yeah, for cat owners. You want info about your kitty, you had to join this Nazi-controlled organization.
What kitty?
Dead serious. It's like even your cat wasn't safe from this stuff.
It's almost funny, but then you realize that's how they work, right? Into
Yeah.
every corner of your life.
Ubiquitous. Like it was just the air they breathed.
And it wasn't just everyday life either. They went full-on religious too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Klemperer talks about how they used religious language to prop up Hitler. You'd hear, I believe in him, everywhere.
Like he was some kind of deity.
It's eerie. They took the language of faith and twisted it into this cult of personality around Hitler.
It's scary how much they understood the power of belief, of something bigger than yourself.
Klemperer actually quotes Goebbels' diary, where Hitler ends a speech with, Amen.
No way.
Yeah, this wasn't by accident. They crafted this aura of reverence around him, made him seem almost like a messiah.
Wow. Just chilling stuff. And this manipulation, it wasn't just the big speeches, the posters, all that.
Nope, it got way more personal than that. Klemperer noticed it seeping into the most ordinary parts of life, even birth and death announcements. Oh yeah, the names people chose, the symbols, even the way they talked about it, it was all carefully calculated to reflect the Nazi worldview.
It's like it was the only way they knew how to talk by then.
Exactly. They normalized it, made it invisible, and that's what made it so dangerous. It was just there. And one phrase Klemperer points out, it's just bone-chilling. Gone away.
Ugh, yeah, I read that, talking about teeth into the camps.
Just like that. Gone away. It's a perfect example of how language can hide the most horrific things.
It's just, I don't know, heartbreaking to see how easily words become weapons like that. And that takes us to, well, probably the most disturbing part of all this, how the Nazis used language to dehumanize Jewish people.
Yeah, no kidding. Klemperer talks about this phrase, the Jewish war, being everywhere.
Like it's this epic battle, good versus evil.
Exactly. Creating this enemy, this them, that's out to get us. And we know where that leads.
It's terrifying how those words paved the way for genocide. It makes you wonder how many people just got swept up in it all, stopped thinking for themselves.
And that's why Klemperer's book is so important even now. It's a warning. This isn't just history, it's, hey, this could happen again.
Absolutely. Language can be used to manipulate us into anything, even the worst atrocities. And what gets me about Klemperer, he didn't just study this stuff, he lived it.
Right in the thick of it.
Seeing how those words led to such suffering. But even so, you find these little glimmers of hope, like the story about Klemperer's wife.
Oh, yeah, with the Gestapo.
We're about to search his house, right?
Yeah.
And she's got this library of classics, books the Nazis hated.
Which is like the last thing you'd want them to find.
Exactly. But she does the opposite. She shows it to them right away. And it throws them off. They don't know what to do.
It's like she appealed to their human side, Even those guys. Just by being honest, using words to connect instead of to hide.
It's amazing proof that even in the darkest times, language can be this force for good, for courage.
Totally. We have a choice, every single one of us, in how we use it.
This has been, I'm not going to lie, a pretty heavy deep dive, but so important,
Eye-opening for sure.
Klemperer's book, LTI, Lingua Tertii Imperii, everyone should read it. It's not just about the past, it's about us now.
It really makes you think about the words we use, how much power they have, makes you want to choose them carefully.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of language, everyone. And remember, think critically, question everything, and choose your words wisely. Until next time.